So you guys are out here with me taking a walk on the trail today. Thought I would come out and just get some fresh air and just making sure I don't get run over by a biker. Gonna go over here to a beautiful pasture that I love with, of course, there's horses again, because I love being around the horse energy. There's something there for me that's still coming through, and I'll show you in a second when we get up here by them, and then I'm gonna stop and maybe see if anything comes through for a video. But here's the beautiful folks out on the farm today. Hey, babies. Aren't they gorgeous? So majestic. Just spending some time outdoors today. Woke up feeling a little disconnected, a little out of sorts. And when that happens, I know I need to be in nature. I need to get near trees, water, grass, grounding, and most of all, I need to stay wide open. So here I am in a beautiful field. Got horsies behind me. Horse energy all around me still. So what does it mean when we wake up disconnected? What does it mean when we feel out of sorts? None of this has changed, right? None of this has changed. It's still part of God's creation. It hasn't left us. So what is that disconnect when it seems to be happening? So I thought I'd talk about that a little bit today, because I think we all as human beings experience it time to time, and we can even have various bouts of it in any given day, you know, where we wake up and we feel so connected, and then all of a sudden something seems to shift. Whether it's an energy or a thought, a belief, whatever it is, seems to shift. And we seem to have lost what felt good. Just watching a mother with her little baby in a carriage, and she's pointing to the trees and talking to the baby about the trees, and the baby's an infant. But it's so beautiful. So I'm just taking a moment with it. The disconnect is the forgetting who we are. And the quickest way to get back to that, at least for me here in the story of Kelly, is nature. Seems like when I'm around this, nothing here can believe that disconnection. Nothing here can take that on board anymore. It's seen as the illusion in this story that it is. How can I be disconnected from all that I am? Unless I'm perceiving myself as something small, disconnected, separate. And we can certainly have that experience. Some people get stuck in it and they fill that gap with the television or busyness of other stuff. They get into an activism role. They get into a character that has to be constantly engaging with other people or other things. We call that FOMO, feeling of missing out. I call it JOMO, joy of missing out. As much as a outgoing person as I can be, I also notice how much of an introvert I can be as well. But it's not a decision not to be with people, it's a decision to be with silence. So there's a big difference. If I were in a room with a bunch of people who were willing to just sit and be with each other, I think I would love that. But when I get in a room with people who are doing the small talk stuff of life, which is necessary, and I'm not putting it down by any means or thinking I'm above it, it just doesn't feel fulfilling anymore. There is a desire to slip away from it and back into the stillness. Or to those who are willing to be in the stillness. You notice those people, they're so easy to be around because they don't need to fill the space with words. They don't need to fill it with conversation. They don't need to fill it with desires. There's just a willingness to just be in the space without having to fill it with anything. Connected again. So, what happens when we feel like we've been denied by this God force or this energy that we are? There's always an invitation to slip back into it. Just like today for me, just slip away, come somewhere outdoors. This is literally a mile from my house. It's a beautiful trail that walks along all these farms, goes along the river that I like to visit, and people are out here walking the trails with their dogs and their children and their families, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful space. Sometimes I bring my bike over. Now there's a cute little doggy looking at me. I tell you guys, it doesn't matter where I go. If I sit somewhere that's completely an abandoned side of any park, it never fails that the children and the animals end up in that same area. And I love it. Like I said, I'll never complain about it. I just think it's funny. So what happens when I feel like I'm being denied by this God source, this energy that I am? Try to stay there and notice a wind will rush over your body and you'll get chilly bumps on your arms, goosebumps, whatever you call them. It's an invitation from God. What happens when you're sitting and leaning against a tree and a bird lands there and puts on a whole song for you, a whole display? God. What happens when you pull over to a trail like I did while you're out on an errand and you notice a beautiful field of endless, gorgeous aliveness just sitting there waiting for you, inviting you? An invitation from God. They're everywhere. Lay back in the grass and look up. Come on, do it. We've all done it since we were little. An invitation from God. The leaves blowing in the trees. An invitation from God. All of this, every single teeny weeny ounce of it, is an invitation from God. to come back to that which you've always been. Part of this source energy that never leaves you, never forsakes you. What's the disconnected feeling? I'm not this. I'm not part of this. But notice you lean against that tree. Or you take in that bird. Or you suck in this beautiful fresh air. And all of a sudden, you feel connected again. Everything's okay. You can go back to the conference calls and the meetings and the bills and the busyness that life seems to want us to attend to, and it's part of our human journey as much as this part is. But if you stop and plug into this, the rest of it can be enjoyable too. It isn't a task anymore, it's a movement. No one here will ever tell you that life is always joy. There are moments of sadness, there are moments of regret, there are moments of jealousy, there are moments of anger, there are moments of loss and desperation and disconnectedness. But there's also always the moment, an opportunity to reconnect. Even if it's just a minute of walking outside and putting your naked bare feet in the grass. It's about staying open, guys. It's about being open and not blaming ourselves when that disconnect happens, and not attaching to things that allow us to stay stuck in that old misery cycle. Sometimes things are falling away, people are falling away, experiences are falling away, and that is also okay. It might not feel good in the moment, but this is all being done for us, not to us. And each experience is offering a subtle invitation to connect with this nature, with that wind, with that breeze, with that butterfly, with these beautiful, majestic clouds. When I came in, the pasture was full of these gorgeous horses and ponies and donkeys, and I said, you know what, I'm not even going to try and record this right now. I just want to connect with it. I just want to be with it for a little bit. So that's what I did. Didn't even turn the camera on, and I'm finding more and more of that happening. Bunch of bikers coming through. Everyone with big smiles on their faces, all connected. All connected. Now we've got a beautiful red bird coming over. I don't know if you can hear her beautiful song. I'm inviting her over. She's gorgeous. All I can say is thank you. Thank you to this merciful God energy that created this abundance that I get to live in and experience. Yes, we have to do this life stuff. We have to do the necessities. We have to do the diligence. Chop wood, carry water. Doesn't matter what a profound experience you may have had, or a simple experience or existence you seem to be having, or if you are a master Rigpa sitting on a mountain, meditating all day. Chop wood, carry water. It still carries on. The discipline to connect still is an invitation. And when I ignore it, I get disconnected. I feel off. There's a feeling of offness that needs to be addressed. And to me now, that comes a priority over anything else. I'm a mile from a river. I'm a mile from a gorgeous trail. I'm a mile from flower markets. I'm a mile from the ocean. I'm probably 10 miles from the mountains. I have it all. God's majesty at my fingertips, literally. What can I complain about or feel disconnected from? The other night it started pouring and lightning and thundering, and a bunch of people in my neighborhood were walking their dogs saying, "Oh, gotta get out and walk before this hits." And I'm sitting there getting my gear on. Gotta get ready to go walk in that rain when it hits. I wanted to go dance in it. I wanted to feel it dripping on my skin and look up into the sky and taste it and absorb it and feel every ounce of it on me. No, I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I just think that there is an aliveness here that thrives on the simplicity of what Mother Nature has gifted us. An observance. The dance is right here. The reality TV, the connection, right here. I don't need to go find it. I don't need to be in a restaurant. I don't need to be in a bar. I don't need to be in a gallery. I don't need to be in a movie theater drowning it out. I don't need to be at a bar sipping it away. All of those things are fine. None of them make me feel connected. Not for very long. They're all beautiful in their own right, and they serve purposes, and I enjoy each and every one of them as facets also of this source energy we call God. But this is where I delight. This is where this fills up. And this stays open. So when you feel disconnected, when you're believing a story, find what allows you to tap into this. Whatever it is for you. You may not be a person who wants to come sit on a bug-filled ground. That's okay. You may not be a person who is happy to sit and bird watch and stare at clouds and look into trees. Listen to what they're saying to you, and that's okay. I'm not saying this has to be your thing. You'll find your thing, but find it. Don't wait another minute. If you only had 10 seconds to sit with God, which every moment is that, what would you want to talk about? How miserable you are, or how grateful you are? When I get this moment with the beloved, all I hear myself say is thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for allowing me to be here. Another day of breath, another day of glory, another day of groundedness. Thank you. I am love. I am loved. I can't forget that when I look at all the gifts that are bestowed in front of me. Take it in again, even if you can't go out to be in it. Take this moment in with me. Look at this beautiful tree I'm sitting underneath. There is nothing to be disconnected from. You are this. Until next time, much love. Don't ever forget you're part of this. You're part of all of this. This is your majesty. This is your field. This is your heaven.